Why does your blood glucose go up after you eat but then come back down? Past people love this, and the answer is so simpler than you think. Yes, Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we are breaking down the homeostasis, specifically glucose control set point using real past paper question. So I will show you the mechanism, the common traps, and the past paper questions that come every year. By the end of this session, you will be able to answer any glucose question in under 2 minutes. Let's go. Here, here is the regulation of blood glucose mechanism. Okay, so as we discussed in the earlier classes, homeostasis, temperature regulation, and the blood water regulation. Here we are discussing about the regulation of blood glucose. So regulation of blood glucose, as you see in the diagram, there is a homeostatic mechanism discussed over there. So what is homeostasis? You know that homeostatic mechanism in which the stimulus act in our body and different control mechanism act over there, and the receptor work over there, control center work over there, and then the effector work over there. And this mechanism is called the homeostasis. Homeostasis, we discuss about that the negative feedback. What is the negative feedback we discuss in the homeostasis? That in which we discuss about the, yes, we discuss about the negative feedback. Negative feedback means something increase in your body as the set point. And what is the set point? Set point is actually the real point, right? It is the real point which is always take the real values to keep the body constant. So set point, the normal value your body tries to keep, and it should be maintained. So negative, when something wrong in our body and our different values in our body, for example, temperature, glucose concentration start to increasing. So here the negative feedback. And due to the negative feedback, there is a loop over there which convert all the scenario and all the things become reverse. So here is a glucose homeostasis mechanism. Glucose homeostasis is the process of maintaining a desirable level of glucose in the blood by opposing and balanced action of insulin and glucagon hormone. So there is a two important hormone which act alternatively, simultaneously. Insulin work and then the glucagon work to maintain the glucose level. So this is called actually the homeostasis. The level of the glucose in the blood is significant to balance the normal functioning of the body. Yes, the body may the glucose level it should be balanced, right? It should be balanced, and it is not either high and not either low. It should be balanced. So how it possible? It is due to the set point and it is due to the homeostasis. When the level of the glucose in the blood is as a result of low, as a result of prolonged fasting, the glucagon acted to convert the reverse glycogen into glucose to bring back the balance. Yes, what does it mean? So here is the important thing that when the glucose level in the blood as a result of fasting, yes, जब fasting की condition होगी तो glucagon release होगा और जब हमारी body में glucose is high in the blood, then the insulin act to convert the glucose into glycogen. So when there is a starving condition, glucagon release, and when there is a more amount of the insulin, more amount of the glucose, so at that time insulin release. So how they work together, this is the important thing. So let's come to the next slide. All right. Yes, this is the whole mechanism. This is a simple diagram and you must focus in this diagram. So, right. When there is a rises in the blood sugar, okay, when there is a rises in the blood sugar, this is the one mechanism, right? This is the one mechanism which we are discussing here. Okay, and the other thing is the lower blood sugar. When when there is a raise the blood sugar, it means blood sugar high in the blood, sugar high in the blood. So what will happen at that time when the sugar high in our blood, right? This is actually considered as a external stimulus, right? हमने एक feedback loop पढ़ा था, तो this is the external stimulus which act in our body. Blood sugar, when we take meal, blood high increase in our body. So at that time, control center work over there. At that time, control center work over there and how it work. External stimulus act over there, then the hypothalamus or the different body systems regulate over there or respond over there. So here is a control center. As in the last class, we discussed about the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is a thermoregulator which work on the when the temperature is rises. This is we have done in the last video. Here we are discussing about the glucose concentration, glucose regulation. So at that time, we are not discussing about the hypothalamus. Here we are discussing the pancreas, right? When the blood sugar level are high, so at that time control center in which pancreas is a gland which act as an exocrine and endocrine. Yeah, exocrine endocrine both form it will act. So here it will act as an endocrine gland. Pancreas release at that time insulin. Insulin release at that time when the blood sugar increase in our blood. Okay, so pancreas release the insulin. Insulin, what is insulin? Insulin is a hormone which release at the time of increase of the blood sugar level. And insulin is responsible to provide all the glucose to the body cells because body cells require the energy. So how it get the energy? By the help of the glucose. So it provide energy to all body cells while the excess glucose reach to the liver and store in the form of glycogen, right? Excess glucose by the help of insulin reach to the liver and converted into glycogen. And this is the storage form where glucose store in the form of glycogen in the liver for the short time being. When there is a lacking of, where there is a deficiency of sugar, right? So at that time, glycogen pancreas command to the glycogen, and at that time, glucagon. Sorry, when there is a decrease the level of the glucose in the blood, so the stored form of glycogen become converted into glucose. So how this glycogen converted into glucose? Who is responsible to convert this glycogen into glucose? So at that time, pancreas release glucagon. First, insulin release when there is a more sugar in the meal in our body, and when there is a lacking of the glucose in our body, so at that time and our tissue cells require energy again. So when the sugar level become low in our body, so at that time pancreas release glucagon. And glucagon is an enzyme, is an hormone, sorry. Glucagon is an hormone which release from the pancreas and reach to the liver and converted the glycogen into glucose form, simple form. And now this glucose again release into the bloodstream directly and reach where? And where it reach? It reach to all body cells where it required. So when blood sugar level rises in our body, so how it control? Here is a negative feedback occur, right? And controls in the control center, pancreas release a hormone which is called the insulin, and after insulin work on the glucose, and excess glucose reach to the liver in the form of glycogen, and then glycogen is stored into the liver for the time being, and then pancreas release glucagon hormone, and it reached to the liver and converted the excess glycogen into simpler glucose again. And in this way, when there is a low level of sugar in our body, it become again come fulfilled. Now the cells getting the glucose again. So this is called the homeostasis, negative feedback. And now this is the past paper question, which is related to the glucose concentration. Okay, here is the blood glucose concentration. And they're talking about the concentration over 6 hours in a day. The graph shows the blood glucose concentration over 6 hours in a day. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4, 5, and 6. Blood glucose concentration over there. What is the set point for blood glucose concentration shown by this graph? Yes. What is the set point? This is the most important topic or point that the student most of the time having the mistake over there. So what is the set point? You must understand set point. So set point, just I'm writing over there, set point definition. The examiner asks set point definition. So you may write this answer easily. The normal value your body tries to keep. A constant environment which is should be maintained in our body. So this is called the set point, and the set point in the homeostasis is called the normal value your body tries to keep, right? So look at here in the graph. In this graph, after meal, yes, have a look. After meal, that is when the meal taken at that time. At 1 hour, 1 hour, when it reaches 1 hour, at the glucose level start to increasing. And then the time spending, the glucose level start to decreasing and decreasing, and around 3 hours, the glucose level completely decreases in our body, right? And then after maybe here take different amount of meal again, and then sugar level increases and increases and then increases, and then it reaches to that point, right? Reach to that point. The examiner asked the question, what is the set point for blood glucose concentration shows by this graph? And I told you that set point is the normal value the body tries to keep. The body try to keep exact to your set point, reach to the set point again. So what is the set point for the blood glucose concentration shown by this graph? 5, 10, 15, or 20 arbitrary units. So you can see that at the 10 point, blood glucose concentration start to increase. This is the set point. This is actually the set point. And now the glucose level start to increase and increase, and here it decreases around 3 hours. Now taking again meal, and then it start to increasing and increasing and increasing, and then it reaches to that point. So you just consider it close look over there. It reach and stop over there. So it means this is actually the set point at which it stopped to increase or decrease. So this is the correct answer. The 10 arbitrary unit is the set point of the glucose concentration, right? I hope you understand this past paper question. All right. So this is all about the glucose concentration. This is all about the glucose concentration. And in the last class, we discussed about the yes, you can again we discuss about the water concentration, how water potential increase and decrease. We also discuss about this in the last video. This is also called the osmoregulation, right? Homeostasis, or we can say osmoregulation, right? We discuss this, and we discuss the past paper question answer as well. This is the past paper question which is related to the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is the thermoregulator which regulate the temperature. We discuss this. This is the negative feedback diagram. We discuss the thermoregulation aid as well. This is the negative feedback definition. All right. So we discuss all these things. This is considered as the homeostasis. In the next class, we will discuss the more past paper question answer. Till then, subscribe my channel. Allah Hafiz.